Good day, folks, and welcome to another edition of Lumberjack Logic. I'm your host, Neil Johnson, with a wild report because Democrats are making more unforced errors. It's absolutely unreal. Their approval rating, by the way, is only at 21% right now. Congressional Democrats, incredibly, that's too high. 21% is too high. You're going to fully believe that after you read this report because it's not just Jamie Raskin. There's others. Tim Walz's daughter is even getting in on the action. Out of the New York Post, Jamie Raskin sinks to new lows by vowing vengeance on foreign leaders who work with Team Trump. That's right, vowing vengeance on foreign leaders who work with Team Trump. Tell me, what is he violating now? This would be, again, the Logan Act. I went through all this stuff the other day. If you're not familiar with the Logan Act, look it up. But putting partisan politics far above patriotism, if he has any, top Democrat Jamie Raskin is outright threatening vengeance on foreign leaders who work with the Trump administration. Yes, he washes it through rhetoric about fighting authoritarianism in our country, but that's simply cover for goonish threats. Raskin issued it on the Pod Save America podcast. What a goofy name, the Pod Save America podcast, after progressive host Tommy Vader cited Latin American experts as urging Democrats to warn off any foreign government that participates in the extraordinary rendition of American citizens. Folks, this is not even happening. No one is proposing this. Democrats keep trying to confuse people into thinking Team Trump is doing that as cover for their efforts to fight the administration's deportations of illegal immigrants, which is not remotely authoritarian. By the way, you never heard this kind of outcry when Bush, Obama, and Clinton were deporting illegals. You never saw this number of court actions. In fact, there was no court actions. Now we're up to already 30. Naturally, Raskin ran with the implied point, specifically pointing to Bukele, El Salvador's president, as someone Dems are not going to look kindly upon, wink, wink, okay, when we come back to power, and we will. His complaint is that Bukele refuses to send Kilmar Abrego Garcia, a Salvadorian citizen. Folks, he is a citizen of El Salvador. He is not an American citizen. I mean, we literally had Chris Van Hollen talking about him as constituent. Does that mean that Van Hollen knows that Garcia illegally voted or something? I mean, what's going on here? Abrego Garcia has never had any legal right to be here. The issue with this whole deportation is that he wasn't supposed to be sent back to El Salvador. And why is that? Because of rival gangs he feared for his life. He was not supposed to be there. He claimed a gang was gunning for him. But where is he supposed to go then? And why are we supposed to support and protect someone who has a problem with gangs in his own country? I don't see this. Bukele has eviscerated the Salvadorian gangs, infuriating U.S. Latin America experts of the kind Vitor surely relies on. Raskin's also plainly peeved that Bukele is assisting the Trump deport violent criminal illegal aliens efforts, but that's still no reason to issue threats to a foreign president. So here we have, out of Breitbart, Maryland sheriff, deported illegal alien backed by Democrats is 1,000% MS-13 gangbanger and domestic abuser. That came from Harford County, Maryland Sheriff Jeff Gaylor. Okay? Again, we have Tim Walz's daughter. This is how baked the Democrat Party is, sparking outrage by comparing the alleged MS-13 gang member to Jesus Christ. No, we're not kidding. She wrote on a viral video, Hope Walz is her name, because there's lots of hope in this. I believe in the good people, and like humanity, humans, you know, deep down at our core, we care about each other, but that's really being tested. If Trump had been alive when Jesus was walking the earth, he would have been deported him for being a gang member? Really? It's just the lunacy of the left is beyond the pale at this point. In addition to that, we now have 4 Democrats have just arrived in El Salvador, and they want to do it on your taxpayer dime. That would be the famous Rep. Robert Garcia of California, Maxwell Alejandro Frost of Florida, Yasmin Ansari of Arizona, and Maxine Dexter of Oregon, all liberal leftist loonies. And they want to go, there's already movement pushback. Hopefully the Republicans follow through on this to say, no, you're not going to do it on the taxpayer dime, because we are working with a foreign president. Trump is working with him to have illegals housed in their prison system down in El Salvador. We don't want them here. We don't even want them in our prison systems. This is an issue where the majority of Americans agree. If you don't believe me, I'm going to show you a poll, a video clip here from CNN where even they have to admit it. But really quickly, do want to mention my sponsor, MyPillow, MyPillow.com. Use promo code LUMBERJACK, folks, for the biggest savings on the best sleep products available. $25 sheets, any size, any color, right now at MyPillow.com/lumberjack, or call 1-800-568-2865. Again, that's 1-800-568-2865.
And Harry Anton is running the numbers on those issues today, specifically on where the president is putting much of his focus right now and why. Talk to me about immigration, how Americans feel about it right now.
Yeah, why is Trump focusing on immigration? Let me just tell you, this is where Trump wants to focus. Pretty please, with a cherry on top. Why is that? Look at Trump's net approval rating on immigration. Compare where we are now, compare where we were at this point in his first term. In his first term, he was underwater at minus 12 points. Look at where he is today. He's actually above water. This is one of his strongest issues at plus 1 point.
Compare where he is on immigration to where Biden was. We know that this was why he leaned into immigration so much.
Yes, this is a big reason why. So take a look here. This is on immigration. What track are we on? The right track or the wrong track? Look in December. Look at the percentage who said we were on the wrong track. 62% of Americans when Joe Biden was in office, compared to just 14% who said that we were on the right track. Flash forward to April. Well, hello. 45% say we're on the right track compared to 42% who say we're on the wrong track. So in a big switcheroo from where we were back in January, the plurality of Americans say that the country is on the right track when it comes to immigration policy. Back in December when Joe Biden was president, the vast majority said that we were on the wrong track. Again, this points out that on the whole, Americans like where we're going on immigration policy under Donald Trump, which is very different from where we were under Joe Biden.
And comparing the kind of then and now and the progression over time, what about on the specific issue of deportations? I mean, compare it maybe today Trump to first term Trump.
Yeah, this I think is the big change. You know, we were talking about changes in policy and how Americans want policy to be carried out. Deport all undocumented immigrants. Voters favoring the government trying to deport all 11 million of them. Back in 2016, just 38% of voters wanted the government to try to deport all 11 million undocumented immigrants. Compared to where we are in 2025, 56%, the majority, the American people have come a long way on this issue, much closer to Donald Trump. And I think that's a big part of the reason why Americans are increasingly saying the country is on the right track when it comes to immigration policy, and why Donald Trump's net approval rating on that issue is in the positive, very much unlike his first term.
And yet, despite the fact that Trump is winning handily, heartily on this issue of immigration, Democrats are dead set on going down to an El Salvadorian prison and begging Bukele to allow a gangbanger, wife beater, MS-13 dude back into our country. So they can, what do we want him here for? What, so we can deport him again to a different country that then sends him to El Salvador? This is pure stupidity. Our judicial system is in shambles, screwing around with the Aliens Act. They're screwing around with this, all of it. Again, they were not messing around with Obama's deportations, Bush's deportations, or Clinton's deportations. So why? You have to ask yourself, why are they messing around with Trump's deportations? Smash that like if you would on the way out. Please go check out MyPillow and subscribe if you're new. See you on the next episode. Peace out.